Hi everybody. In this problem, we're looking at how syrup is mixed with juice inside a constantly stirred tank. So we're going to work out how to model how the amount of syrup over time changes using a differential equation. We're told that at the start, the tank holds 9 litres of juice and 1 litre of syrup. And after the mixing begins, juice flows in at zero point 0.2 litres per second and syrup flows in at zero point 0.1 litres per second. And the fully mixed liquid flows out at zero point 0.3 litres per second. So this means the tank remains full because what's being added equals what's being removed. So if X is the amount of syrup in litres in the tank at time t seconds, we need to find dx by dt, which is the rate of change of the syrup. So dx by dt will be the rate of change, and this will be the difference between the rate at which it flows in, this will be the inflow, and the rate at which it flows out, this will be the outflow. So the inflow, we're told, is 0.1 litres per second. The outflow, because the tank is constantly stirred, we can assume that the syrup is evenly spread. So that at any time, the concentration of the syrup will be the amount of syrup we're calling X over its total volume, which is the 10. So this is the total volume in the tank. This remains constant at the 10 litres. And if we remove the 0.3 litres of this evenly mixed liquid each second, the amount of syrup leaving will be the concentration of the syrup multiplied by the outflow of 0.3 litres per second. So this will be 0.3x over 10. And we can simplify this to write 3x over 100. So we can see that the m will be 3 and the n will be 100. Okay? So dx by dt will be the inflow minus the outflow. So now we've set up the differential equation, we can solve it to find how the amount of syrup in the tank changes over time. And you can see this is a first order linear differential equation, so we'll solve it using the integrating factor method. And this is where we have the form dx by dt plus p of t, or a constant, multiplied by the x term, is equal to a different function of time, or again another constant. So we need to move this negative 3x over 100 to the left-hand side. That will give us something like this left-hand side. And I'll also split up this fraction so we can separate p and x. So we'll have dx by dt plus 3 over 100 multiplied by x will equal 0.1. So the integrating factor will be e to the integral of the p term, which is 3 over 100, integrated with respect to t. So this will give us e to the 0.03t. And then we need to multiply every term in this differential equation by this integrating factor. So you can see in this left-hand side is now the derivative with respect to t of the x term, because when you differentiate this, we get dx by dt, and the integrating factor, because when you differentiate this, we bring the 0.03 down, we get the 3 over 100 multiplied by this integrating factor. So the left-hand side becomes x multiplied by e to the 0.03t. And when you differentiate this with respect to t, we get the right-hand side. So now, when we integrate both sides with respect to t, these two will cancel, So the left-hand side becomes an S, and then we integrate the right-hand side with respect to t. Using the reverse chain rule, we bring this down to become 100 over 3. When we multiply it by the 0.1, we get 10 over 3 e to the 0.03t plus the constant c. And to find c, we can use our initial conditions. This is when t equals 0, x will equal 1. So if t equals 0, this will become 1, x will become 1, this term will become 1, and we'll have 10 over 3 plus c. So therefore, c will equal negative 7 over 3. And then we can substitute this back into here. So if I start a new page, to make x the subject, we'll divide both sides by the exponential term. So we'll get x will equal, when you divide it with this term, these will cancel. So we'll just get 10 over 3. And with the 7 over 3, this will become negative 7e to the negative 0.03t over 3. We can factor out the third. So we've got 10 minus 7 e to the negative 0.03t. And there you have it. That's how you solve a differential equation for the amount of syrup in the tank. So to work out when the concentration reaches 25%, the amount of syrup will be the total volume, which is 10, divided by 4. So this will be 2.5 litres. So if we substitute this into our model for x, then we just need to solve this equation. So we'll multiply both sides by the 3. We'll move this term over to the left-hand side and the 7.5 over to the right-hand side. And then we'll divide both sides by the 7. And to work out t, we'll just take the natural log of both sides. And then we'll divide both sides by the negative 0.03. And t works out to be approximately 34.3 seconds. Okay? So this tells you at 34.3 seconds, 1/4 of the amount of liquid in the tank will be syrup. The rest will be juice. And then for part C, find the limiting syrup concentration as t tends to infinity. So if t tends to infinity, and we substitute that into our model, then this bit will tend to 0, because we'll have 7 over e the 0.03t. And when t tends to infinity, this becomes very large, and 7 divided by a very large number, this will tend to 0. So what we're left with is x will tend to 1/3 of the 10. So there'll be 10 over 3 litres of the syrup. The concentration will be the amount of syrup over its total volume, which is still 10, multiplied by 100 to make it into a percentage, and this will give us 33.3%. So this tells you that the concentration will settle, so the amount of syrup in the liquid will be exactly 1/3. Okay, well, I hope that's given you an idea on how we can use first-order linear differential equations to model mixtures. We're going to work through a similar question in the next video, which you might want to try yourself for practice.